Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most revolutionary technologies shaping the future of warfare. Israel's new Iron Beam laser defense system is not just an upgrade to air defense, it is a complete transformation of how nations will protect their skies in the coming decades. For years, the world has watched missiles, rockets, and drones evolve at terrifying speed, and traditional defense systems have struggled to keep up. But Israel has now stepped forward with a weapon that changes the rules entirely. A weapon that fires at the speed of light, a weapon that costs almost nothing per shot, a weapon that can destroy drones instantly. This is the Iron Beam, and its impact is far greater than most people realize. The story of Iron Beam begins with a simple problem. Modern air defense systems rely on expensive interceptor missiles. Every time a cheap drone or rocket is launched, the defending side must respond with a missile that costs tens of thousands of dollars. Over time, this becomes financially impossible. Israel has faced this issue for more than a decade, especially during intense rocket barrages from Gaza and new drone threats from multiple directions. Engineers realized that continuing to use conventional missiles was unsustainable. They needed a system that could intercept threats quickly, cheaply, and in large numbers. That is where laser technology became the answer. The Iron Beam is the world's first operational high-energy laser air defense system, designed to shoot down rockets, drones, mortars, and even artillery shells using a focused beam of light. When people hear laser, they often imagine science fiction scenes, but Iron Beam is real, tested, and already entering deployment phases. It uses extremely concentrated laser energy to burn through the structure of an incoming target, causing it to explode or crash within seconds. The power level is estimated to reach around 100 kilowatts or even higher in future upgrades, strong enough to melt metal in midair. One of the biggest advantages of the Iron Beam is speed. Traditional interceptor missiles require launch, guidance, flight time, and impact. A laser does not. It hits almost instantly. The moment sensors detect a target, the laser locks on and begins burning. There is no delay, no arc, no propulsion. Just a silent, invisible beam that destroys the threat with precision. This makes Iron Beam extremely effective against fast, small, or unpredictable drones that can evade radar-guided missiles. Another game-changing advantage is cost. Firing a missile from systems like Iron Dome can cost between $40 to $100 per shot. In comparison, firing the Iron Beam laser costs only a few dollars. That means Israel can defend against massive drone swarms or rocket attacks without worrying about running out of missiles or money. For the first time, defense becomes cheaper than offense, a complete reversal of modern warfare's economics. But cost and speed are not the only reasons Iron Beam is groundbreaking. The system requires no physical ammunition. As long as it has electrical power, it can keep firing. This eliminates logistics problems and resupply delays during heavy conflict. It also allows Israel to maintain continuous air defense coverage for long periods, even during the most intense operations. The development process behind Iron Beam took years of research and engineering challenges. Early prototypes struggled with stability, atmospheric conditions, and power output. But Israeli defense companies pushed the technology forward with advanced beam control systems and improved power generation units. The final system achieved enough power density to reliably destroy threats at tactical distances. Recent tests showed drones being vaporized almost instantly, rockets disintegrating midair, and mortars being neutralized before reaching the ground. These tests proved that Iron Beam is not just a concept, but a practical and deadly efficient weapon. The world took notice. Military experts realized that Israel had crossed a major threshold that other nations had spent decades chasing. Countries like the United States, China, and Russia have been developing laser weapons of their own, but none have reached the operational readiness that Israel now demonstrates. The difference lies in integration. Israel integrated Iron Beam directly into its existing multi-layer defense network, working alongside Iron Dome, David's sling, and arrow systems. This creates a layered shield over the country where lasers handle cheap, close range threats, while missile systems focus on long range ballistic missiles. The result is a balanced, efficient, and adaptive defense architecture. The battlefield impact of Iron Beam goes far beyond Israel's borders. The rise of drones is one of the biggest challenges in modern warfare. Small drones can drop explosives, gather intelligence, or swarm military bases. They are cheap, easy to produce, and extremely difficult to defend against using missiles. With Iron Beam, Israel becomes the first country capable of neutralizing drone swarms economically and rapidly. This capability will reshape future conflicts. Armies that rely on drone tactics will have to rethink their strategies. Offense is no longer cheap and easy. Defense now has a powerful and affordable countermeasure. However, Iron Beam is not perfect. Lasers have natural limitations. Weather can affect performance. Heavy clouds, dust, smoke, or rain can reduce beam strength, but Israel is developing solutions to minimize these issues. Higher power levels, improved focusing lenses, and advanced atmospheric compensation systems are being introduced. And even with these limitations, the advantages still outweigh the weaknesses. Iron Beam is not meant to replace all missile systems. Instead, it complements them, taking the pressure off expensive interceptors and allowing the military to reserve missiles for complex, long-range threats. Another important factor is mobility. Early versions of Iron Beam were stationary, but new designs aim to make the system more mobile. Mounted on armored vehicles or trucks, the laser can be moved quickly to front, line areas, border zones, or critical infrastructure sites. This flexibility makes laser defense much more adaptable to different combat environments. As technology improves, mobile laser units will likely become a standard part of military defense across the world. The impact of Iron Beam on international arms markets is also significant. Many countries are now interested in purchasing or partnering with Israel to develop their own laser defense systems. Nations facing drone threats, such as those in the Middle East, Asia, and Europe, see Iron Beam as a necessary future investment. The U.S. military has already collaborated with Israel, sharing technology and conducting joint research on high-energy lasers. As this technology spreads, the global shift toward laser-based defense will accelerate. But perhaps the most important question is how Iron Beam will shape the future of warfare. For centuries, wars have relied on projectile weapons. From arrows to bullets to missiles, combat always required launching physical objects at a target. Lasers change this fundamental rule. They introduce a new category of weapon that relies on energy instead of matter. This transition is as important as the shift from swords to guns or from cannons to missiles. It represents a new era where the speed of light becomes a weapon. In future conflicts, armies may deploy entire networks of laser turrets connected by artificial intelligence. These systems will detect and eliminate threats faster than humans can react. Drone swarms, cruise missiles, and even hypersonic threats may eventually be countered with beams of focused energy. The Iron Beam is just the first step, but it opens the door to a new generation of directed energy weapons that could dominate future battlefields. Israel's decision to develop lasers also sends a strong message. The country recognizes that the nature of threats is changing. Drones, rockets, and cheaper weapons are becoming more common. Nations cannot rely on old methods forever. They must innovate quickly or be overwhelmed by modern attacks. Iron Beam demonstrates what innovation can achieve when a country invests heavily in research and development. Some analysts argue that laser weapons may eventually reduce the overall cost of warfare. Defense systems that are cheaper to operate could discourage enemies from launching large-scale attacks, knowing their efforts would be neutralized with minimal expense. Others believe lasers will trigger a new arms race, pushing countries to develop countermeasures or more advanced drones. In either case, the introduction of iron beam forces the world to adapt. There is also a humanitarian aspect. Missile interceptors sometimes cause debris or explosions that fall into populated areas. Lasers avoid this problem because they destroy targets by burning rather than detonating them. This reduces collateral damage and makes defense safer for civilian populations. It also makes iron beam ideal for protecting cities, infrastructure, and sensitive locations without creating additional risks. As Iron Beam moves closer to full operational readiness, Israel continues to test, refine, and expand the system. New variants with higher power levels are already planned. Engineers are exploring the possibility of combining multiple beams to increase effectiveness. Future systems may reach power levels high enough to target larger rockets or even aircraft. The idea of a laser-protected nation, once a fantasy, is slowly becoming reality. Around the world, military planners are watching closely. They understand that whoever masters directed energy weapons first will have a major advantage in future conflicts. Lasers offer speed, precision, low cost, and endless ammunition. No other weapon system provides all these benefits at once. The success of Iron Beam will directly influence military doctrines for decades to come. Despite the excitement, there are still challenges to overcome. Power supply is critical. High-energy lasers require massive electrical output. Mobile units must carry powerful generators or batteries. Heat management is another issue because lasers generate intense thermal buildup. Israeli engineers are developing advanced cooling systems and energy-efficient designs to solve these problems. Over time, these solutions will become more advanced, making future laser weapons even more effective. As we look at the broader picture, Iron Beam represents more than just a new defense tool. It symbolizes the technological race shaping the 21st century. Nations are competing not only with armies, but with engineers, scientists, and innovators. The battlefield is shifting from raw firepower to advanced electronics, artificial intelligence, and energy-based weapons. Countries that fail to keep up may find themselves vulnerable, but for now, Israel has taken a major lead. The Iron Beam demonstrates the country's determination to stay ahead of threats and protect its people. It is a weapon that blends innovation, necessity, and strategic vision. It proves that sometimes the future arrives quietly, not with explosions, but with a beam of focused light cutting through the air in silence. The global security environment is changing faster than ever. Conflicts are becoming more unpredictable, and technology is reshaping every aspect of military strategy. In this environment, the Iron Beam stands out as a symbol of the new era, a system that shows how far modern engineering has come and how much farther it will go. The lasers that once existed only in movies are now defending real cities, real borders, and real lives. In the coming years, we will see more breakthroughs, larger lasers, longer range, better precision, and faster reaction time. Nations will develop their own versions, and international cooperation will expand. The weapons of the future will no longer rely on explosives, but on energy. This shift will redefine everything from tactics to national security planning. As we wrap up this deep dive, one thing is clear. Iron Beam is not just a defense system, it is a turning point. It marks the moment when humanity moved one step closer to energy-based warfare. It shows what is possible when a nation commits to innovation. And it proves that the future of war is already here, unfolding before our eyes. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more videos exploring the most advanced technologies shaping the future of the battlefield.